everyone. Welcome to the We'll See You in Hell podcast, now a part of the FANGORIA Podcast Network. For more information about the network, including other programs, how to follow the show, and find past episodes of We'll See You in Hell, please visit fangoria.com. Now, on with the show. And on with the Joe. Hi, Joe DeRosa.
Pat, how are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you. It's been about a month since I've seen you and a month since
Listen, don't turn it on now. Because before we started recording this thing, I said to you, you know, Pat, I haven't seen you in a month. I'm happy to see you. You look like you could care less that I'm even standing here. Don't you dare turn it on now for the fans.
I think it's important that they think, we're like parents with, the children can't know the friction between mom and dad. We need them to think that things are okay.
Yeah, you are right. I want to let it out now, but we should save it for the autobiography. We didn't get along. We wouldn't speak for months at a time, except for when we were recorded.
If I don't jump into Joe's arms like, the poster of I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, then Joe gets his feelings hurt, but I play it a little closer to the vest.
Well, but by jumping into my arms, Pat means even hint at a smile. I mean, he just walks in. He literally looks like his dog was just raped in front of him. Like just
wow.
Sorry, was that too rough? It
would be if I had a dog.
Yeah.
If you'd said cat, I would have walked out. My sweet, sweet cat.
I mean, okay. You walk in like you just found your cat's head in the mailbox.
Come on.
It's some kind of.
I told you I didn't need this
message. I text him today. I go, hey man. What do you say we bar hop around my new neighborhood after we record the pod tonight because there's a lot of great spots? He goes, yeah, sure, that's fine. And I go, okay, cool. And I go, it'll be fun to explore a bit. And then he writes back, explore? We're not hiking the Himalayas. I'm like, how about just say, sounds fun?
Well,
how about just sounds fun?
Here's the truth. It's my birthday, or it was yesterday, and I, of course, had to do a little birthday dinner with the missus, but today was going to be my birthday hang. I said, look, I got all these cupcakes and treats, liquor. Why don't we come by my house, smoke a little pot, have some drinks, have a big, beautiful house, ladies out of town, have a nice time. I asked Joe. I asked a couple other friends. Joe's like, sounds fine. Oh, actually, you said, oh, yeah, the Red Lion's right by your house, which it isn't, A. But B, yeah, there's a bar, so there's another option than being trapped in your beautiful home.
Well, let me say this.
Let me finish.
You didn't say let's do this. You said I'm happy to do this if you want.
I said I'm happy to do whatever at this point because the alternative is Joe comes to your house, he's on his phone checking it, and then he's like, "We got to get out of here. We got to go hit the bars."
Well,
and that's not fun.
Because I'm sorry if I don't think it's a rip-roaring Friday night for a bearded man to invite me to his palatial estate, just the two of us.
And Vince and other friends.
What other friend? You put in the initial text, not looking to have a bash here. Sounds like a real hoot, Pat.
Well, I asked a couple other friends, but, I thought that would be a real nice time. So then I knew Joe was going to hit me with, let's go to a bar instead.
Well, let's go be social.
Be social with who? We never talk to anyone but ourselves. Unless you're looking for something to fuck, which is probably the case.
No, how dare something to fuck,
that's what it is.
This is how he phrases it.
That's what it is. We always sit in a dank corner of a bar and talk to only each other until someone gets up to talk to the bartender to say, 3 more, please.
And is it not a great time?
Yeah, we would have had a great time at my house. We listened to records. I got all these new records.
And what did I say in the thing today?
Blast. Now, we also go over to Joe's all the time to smoke and listen to music and drink.
I put a little bit of a thing together. I put a little bit of a thing.
How many times have me, you, and Vince sat over there and done nothing? You like that because it's your house.
Let me just say this.
Your comfort
Let me
zone.
say this. And I said this in the goddamn text message today, you nasty bitch. I said, just for a little while, we can hop around, and then we can go back to your place and hang out, thinking, oh, it's a nice two-parter of a night, which is what we always do with my place. We go to bars first, then we come back here. And then you write, not up for a big late hang tonight.
Well,
I mean, Jesus
because then here's what it is. You go out till 10, you're wasted. You don't get to put it in anything. So then you're like, now I guess as an afterthought, as like a final option, then yeah, we'll go over to Pat's now. Then we show up at my house drunk. You guys are over there till 2 a.m, spilling beer on the floor, and then I got to get up at 8 to do man things. Why do you got to get up at 8? I got a home repair tomorrow.
You're doing.
I got to keep that palatial estate in order. No, I'm not doing it, but I have to let the people.
You have to let the guy in at 8 a.m. This is the big thing.
And then I have other things to do that I cannot discuss on this podcast.
That's fine, but
I told you what they are.
You can't be a little hungover. Let the guy in at 8, sleep for 2 more hours, then go run your errands. You can't do that.
I'm not letting my beautiful home be a second or third choice because you couldn't get laid. I'm not doing it.
It's not. First of all, I just want to point out how many times you've referred to women as things.
That's how you refer to them.
No. That's what you just said.
That's
you said
how I'm
because
referring
you didn't get to put it in anything.
Yeah, that's what I meant because we're hitting the bar skank crowd.
So now every woman that goes to a bar is a skank. What is this, the 20s?
That's what I said. Every woman that goes to a bar is a skank. Any woman that's going home with Joe from a bar is probably a skank.
Listen, first of all, please don't make me sound like some kind of goddamn gigolo working the circuit for a couple of dollars on a Friday night.
Joe has been added to the cast of Showtime's Gigolos.
All I was saying was it's fun to go out. It's Friday night. It's fun to go out a bit on the town.
But it's my birthday.
It was your birthday yesterday, and you chose to spend it with your
I did not
girlfriend.
receive a happy birthday from you until today, so I'm counting that as my version of your.
I've never
your
received
version
a happy
of my
birthday from you. You want to?
I don't know when your birthday is.
You want to get into it?
I told you when my birthday is. It's coming up on Thursday.
You know when mine is because I invite you to the party I have every year, and you never say happy birthday. You don't even come to the party sometimes.
I've certainly said happy birthday. I've given you gifts before. I don't know when your birthday is.
You've never given me a birthday gift.
I'll put it on my calendar.
You gave me Christmas gifts, and I gave you a Christmas gift this year, and I've given you Christmas gifts in the past. Here's my point. Fine, it's your birthday. We can go to your place.
How about when I upgraded us at the Black Sabbath show?
That was really great.
Get us down on the floor.
That was really great.
Final show of Black Sabbath.
That was
Make
really
that
great.
a birthday gift.
No, listen, that's fine. That's fine. Do me a favor.
Christ.
Do you want to rub paycheck stubs in my face right now?
Honestly, yes. Let me go grab one.
Look, if you really want to go to your place tonight, we can go to your place, okay?
Now the offer is off the table.
Why? Why can't we go out? I said happy hour drinks. Why is that so bad to precursor?
Offer someone to your house and they're like, yeah, let's go to a bar, though. Let's explore.
Guess what? I had a little get-together on New Year's Eve, okay? Guess what I suggested we do beforehand? Let's go to a happy hour first. It's fun to go to a happy hour, then go back to the house.
Here's what I don't like. Offering people to my beautiful house, getting proposed other options. And here's what I really don't like, which is not something you've done here, but it's a similar thing. I did this to a buddy of mine the other night. Hey, do you want to hang out? This was in Missouri, by the way, where I'm in town. I'm visiting. You want to hang out? Who else is going to be there? That to me is like our friendship is over. I take it so badly, and I shouldn't perhaps. But don't say who else is going to be there because that means you're not enough.
Let me tell you.
And that's how I feel. Your beautiful home is not enough for me tonight.
Let me tell you what's bugging me about you right now.
All right.
For years, this guy has thrown his big Vegas dick in my face. How great Vegas is, how he goes. He wins all this money out there.
And asked you to go several times.
It's a great time and everything. I finally get a gig in Vegas. I call him up. I go, Pat, I got a gig in Vegas. It's one night, maybe two. Come with me, please. So we'll have fun. He goes, I can't go. You know why I can't go, everybody? Because this fucking psycho went to Vegas 2 times within a week and a half of each other. One of those times for 6 days. I don't know what kind of lunatic goes to Vegas for 6 days. And then
it was 4 days.
Before that, he texts me.
Total.
He texts me about a casino bitching that they're not comping him a room or something.
Also not true.
And I said that's why I hate Vegas. They got no class. Some joke or whatever. And then he writes back, I'm not in Vegas yet. I'm in St. Louis. You couldn't wait till you got to Vegas to gamble. You had to go gamble in St. Louis. And then go down to Vegas for the second time in a week and a half span.
It was too much. That's what I'm saying to you. You're right there.
Well, I needed you this time.
The truth is, I was already going on New Year's Eve with my lovely girlfriend. We had plans to go and have fun. The room was booked. We were going to go see, and we did see The Weeknd, who performed for 45 minutes on December 30th while the crowd's like still getting drinks. He's done.
And that's what you get for going to see The Weeknd.
It was infuriating. No, because he's been amazing in the past, but now that he's huge, he's like, fuck you, and it really pissed me off. Then I go see Elton John, who's been doing it since my parents were kids, and he gives the best fucking show I've ever seen.
Now, I saw Elton John. Let's get on the same
great.
page for a minute here. I saw Elton John 2 summers ago. It was, again, as you just said, one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Yeah, he was incredible.
He came out, opened with The Bitches Back.
He did this night as well.
And then right into Benny and the Jets.
So he must be doing the same set.
Yeah. Hit the first piano chord of Benny and the Jets. The place went fucking berserk.
Yeah.
Stood up.
Yes.
Like, give me some more. Did he do the thing where he pounds the top of the piano, like, cheer louder?
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was awesome.
Then he's like, now I'm going to play a 12-minute song about the plight of the Native American. And I was like, okay. And that was great.
What was that song? He didn't do that
I guess
one.
he was peppering in some old, obscurities. And then he fucking closed with Circle of Life.
Oh, see, I was thrilled. He left that out of the set.
No, I was happy. I wouldn't have been happy with Can You Feel the Love Tonight. I was happy with Circle of Life.
I saw him at the Outside Lands Festival, which is was one of your hipper music
I've been
festivals.
there.
He left out all the Disney bullshit.
Yeah.
He went straight hits, front to back. I mean, it played for 2.5 hours, and it was non-stop hit. I'm Still Standing.
Yeah.
I guess that's why they call it the blues.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Was Made for Fighting. I think that was the closer.
Yeah, they know the hits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
it was a great show.
You don't have to condescend that I'm enjoying a memory.
It was
Let's
a great
get
show.
into look.
But no, I'm not done. You derailed my story. This is why you haven't heard the Bad Santa story,
No,
folks.
this is not why. We both agreed that you'd save it for the Silent Night, Deadly Night episode, and we both forgot to tell it in that.
And then you skipped the segment. You were like, let's just get to the movie because we had to get out of there.
And you said you agreed. You said you didn't go, no, Joe, I got to tell the story. And I go, no.
Yeah.
But we forgot.
All right, I went along with it.
We forgot.
But folks,
Tell the goddamn Bad Santa story.
we
please.
had 4 nights in Vegas for New Year's Eve. Now my buddies sold a movie. I can get a free room there whenever I want. They're like, we're going to go out and celebrate. There's 3 of my good buddies who I never see. I'm like, you know what? That'd be a blast. I went out. I realized as I rolled into the second Vegas trip, it was too much. I told my girlfriend I don't want to go for a really long time, so I'm not going to go 2 weeks later. Now in St. Louis, I guess I will tell you this. They have a casino there, but it's also a beautiful hotel. It's one of the nicer hotels there. I'm going to go in. I call them at 6 o'clock. Can I get a room tonight? They go, sure. I show up at 9:45. We gave your room away. There's no more rooms.
Well, tell them why you called in to get a room. You were gambling for many hours.
Well, I had gambled there, sure. I gamble with my family. That's what
But
they
that's
like
what I'm
doing.
saying. You weren't just calling and saying, can I have a room? You were calling and saying, I've been gambling here. Can you comp me a room?
Yes. Yeah. Can you?
Well, that's a key part of the
Sure.
story.
Well, you had already said that, so I thought they knew that. I said, can you comp me a room for the night? They said, sure. I called them at 6. I show up at 9:45. They go, Mr. Walsh, we've given your room away. I drove about an hour to be there. I go, what are you talking about? They said, well, we gave it away. I said, I have a reservation here. That's what a reservation is. It's like the Seinfeld bit. Anyone can just take them. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what are you saying? They go, well, our policy is at 9 o'clock, we give away the rooms if you're not here. I said, that policy is insane. You have a hotel room for the night. That's not a policy. Well, it is our policy. I said, where is that posted? Why was that not said to me on the phone? They go, well, they should have told you on the phone. But they didn't. Well, then it's definitely in your confirmation email. I open my email on my phone. I have 4. They sent it 4 times, the confirmation email, for some reason. And I open it, and thank Christ, because I was waiting for it to be in there, and then I'd have to just eat it. It wasn't in the email.
So I'm truly sad it wasn't in the email.
No.
I'm sad it wasn't
I
in
would
the
have been
email.
furious, but at myself, because I would have been like, okay, I guess I should have read the
And
fucking
I would
email.
be gleeful right now.
I'm reading the smallest of print. I go, here, I've blown up the small print. I go, search this email. It's not in there. She goes, Mr. Walsh, I assure you it is. I go, then please point it out to me. I hate these confrontations.
Did you call her a thing?
I've been in customer service.
Did you call her a thing?
No, she
Did
wasn't
you say,
having
hey,
sex with you.
Hey, thing.
She scrolling through it, and I see her face from chin to forehead, like in a cartoon. Slowly, the red rises. She's got one of those rashy, splotchy faces, and the rash just rises up until her face is all rash. And she goes, all right, well, it's not in this email. And I go, then you want to check one of the other 3 you sent me? Because they're all the same. She goes, I get it, sir, but they definitely told you on the phone. I said, well, a second ago it was they should have told me on the phone. Now it's they definitely did. I go, I'll tell you this. If I call at 6 p.m., somebody definitely should have said, you need to be here by 9 or we're giving your room away.
Sure.
Nobody said that, or else I would have been here at 9. I'm visiting with my fucking mom because I figure I have a hotel room for the night.
Right.
So I can spend a little time with my mom.
Yeah, you want to have a romantic evening.
Yeah.
You and Mom in the hotel.
Exactly.
This is what I mean. This is why I don't want to come to your house later. These are odd hangouts that you orchestrate.
I wasn't with
my
my mom at the
mother and I
casino.
are
I'm
going
at
to get a
mom's
hotel
home.
room in the casino together.
Joe, this was a hotel room for me.
Just
I was
for
at
you.
my mom's home.
Alone. So you leave your loving family to go. Again, it's not any better.
No, because, well, if you want to get into my family dynamics, they go, Pat, you're welcome to stay here anytime. Then I go into the room I'm supposed to be staying in. It's covered in gift wrap.
Your family actually says that?
There's a treadmill. Yeah, there's no room for me to sleep.
That's amazing.
No,
You're
I know it's
welcome-
amazing.
No,
This
no,
is why I am the way I am.
You're welcome to stay here anytime. It's for Christ's sakes. They're not
I know.
friends in another
Well,
city.
once they divorced, all bets were off. And then I go to my dad's house. I got a giant shelter dog attacking me. I'm like, this is why I'm not staying here. I scream over the dog barks as I run for my car. It's a terrible life.
Speaking of dogs, is Con okay over there? Is my dog okay? Because he looks dead right now.
Con's fine. He's fine.
He's fine. How much has he calmed down, huh?
He's calmed down.
No
quite a
barking,
bit.
nothing. All right, listen.
But that's what I'm saying here, folks, is the Ameristar Casino in St. Charles, Missouri, and a hotel. You have a terrible policy. I wrote a letter to them today.
Did
and
you
know
get
what they're
in
gonna
a
say?
room?
Well, no.
Oh, jeez.
No. I went back and stayed at my mom's house on the fucking couch. Folks.
No gambling at your mom's house, I bet.
Well,
Except for that strip poker game she's got going
gambling
every-
on the guy she married coming out of the bedroom wearing a pair of briefs. And
Tell the bad Santa story because we are almost 20 minutes in and we have two
all right.
podcast segments to get to. Then we still have to discuss the damn movie.
All right, well, we can just skip the catching up on what we've missed segment, and I'll just tell you about Bad Santa 2, which I saw now well over a month ago, almost 2 months ago. Folks, I go in to see Bad Santa 2. I'm by myself. I'm off. It's my first day off of work, and I'm getting ready to go do my Thanksgiving type shit. I go up to the Cheesecake Factory. I have a drink. I have a little time to kill. I have a second drink. I'm not proud of any of this, folks. This is what I did, all right? I walk into the movie. There's a nice crowd. And I tell you what, folks, I was so excited to see Bad Santa 2.
It all just came. Can I just interject? It all just came together. You live like a 68-year-old woman from the Midwest.
Look, it's not
You're
great.
going to Vegas 5 nights at a clip. You're drinking alone at the Cheesecake Factory. You're getting hotel rooms in St. Louis by yourself in casinos.
It's not great.
It finally all makes sense.
It's not great.
It all makes sense.
What I also didn't mention, folks, I didn't go to Vegas because I have a 4-year girlfriend, and Joe's going for the AVN Awards.
I'm not going for the AVN
The
Awards.
porn awards.
I'm going to do a show during the AVN
During
Awards.
the AVN
that I'm
Awards.
headlining.
Okay. Well, congrats, Joe. All right. A brief backstory. Bad Santa, when I saw it on Thanksgiving Day when I had first moved to New York, I was Travis Bickling it up. I was doing nothing but push-ups. I spoke to no one for months, and my 2 best friends came out to visit. And I felt like I was born again. I was so happy to see them. And we all got wasted, and we saw the first Bad Santa, and I had never laughed so hard in my life. Still, when I watch the movie, I die laughing. I think it's an incredible comedy. I go into Bad Santa 2. I'm like, if this is half as good as Bad Santa, I'll be very happy. But I know what's going on. I know that the script was co-written by the fucking guy who did The Entourage. All right? I'm concerned.
I mean, what a step down. You got the Coen brothers on the first one
Yes.
at the helm, and then you get the Entourage. I mean,
uncredited Coen brothers, but yeah, they apparently drastically
they
rewrote the
produced
movie.
it, which
Yeah.
is a huge, as
Then
you
you
know.
go from Terry Zwigoff, who is a mad genius as director, to this guy, who directs a lot of like kind of fluff, but he's a decent director, Mark Waters, whatever. So I go into the movie, and already I'm like, well, here we go. The row behind me has about 25 kids in it, little kids, 10 years old. No parent anywhere. And I watch them all walk into this thing, and they're waiting for the usher to, like, turn around and sneak past him. So this whole row is full of kids, and they are talking louder than I am talking now from the second the movie begins. So I'm like, okay. Then the flashes begin. I look back, and the kids are taking flash photography of the screen in a movie theater. So I'm getting angrier and angrier. We've all been in these situations. You want to do the Costanza thing where you go insane at them. I'm just not that kind of a person.
As this story unfolds, it doesn't discredit my 68-year-old
No.
Midwestern woman theory.
Yeah, here's what I was doing. A lot of heavy sighs, a lot of looking over my shoulder at them. And these kids were just, no one in the theater was saying anything to them. They were driving me insane. So eventually, I walk out. I go to the usher, much like a 68-year-old woman. I go, hey, man, I don't know what's going on in here, but there's 25 kids, children, in this filthy R-rated movie, and they won't shut up. And it's not whispering. They're talking. They're running around. They're punching each other, and they're taking flash photos of the screen. Can you please come in and throw them out or talk to them? Oh, well, they shouldn't even be in there. It's R-rated. Yeah, I know. You were guarding the door, but they got past you.
I love how he's telling you that, yeah.
Yeah. So he goes, yeah, absolutely, I'll be right in there. Which already I'm like, why don't you walk in with me?
Sure.
So I go in, I sit down. The man never comes in. I never saw him again. He never came into the theater. So I'm sitting there, I'm fuming, I'm getting angrier and angrier. And to make matters worse, folks, my very brief review of Bad Santa 2 is that it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. And my buddy Derek Waters, who I do the Drunk Histories with, had raved about it. I was hammer texting him when I got out, like, you're on the payroll. You couldn't have liked this movie. He's the only person I've talked to who enjoyed it. But I had a strong recommendation on top of being excited, and this movie is so fucking terrible. So terrible. The villains in it you would expect to be in a movie about, like, a dog who can talk. Is how bad the villains in this movie are. It's terrible. Nothing works in it. There's no funny jokes. It's a bad movie.
I mean, there are funny jokes in the trailer, though. It's really that bad?
In addition to those, there's nothing. So you wouldn't like it on a plane, you know? So I'm fuming. I'm getting angrier and angrier. And then the kids all stand up together. I'm like, oh, thank God they're going to get out of here. And they all walk down and sit in the front row together.
Okay.
And resume full-volume conversations and start taking photos of the screen. Yeah. Flash photos from the front row. So I guess they're like, hey, nobody's yelled at us. Let's take it up a notch. People had already moved to the front to get away from them. When these kids move down to the front, they start moving to the back. And something snapped in me, folks. I'm like, they're terrorizing this audience, and no one is saying anything, myself included. And I walk down. My hands were shaking. And I lean over the aisle, and I go, hey, shut the fuck up or get the fuck out. Which is something I've never done in my life.
Okay, right.
I screamed it. And, folks, I'm not kidding when I say they all turned to me and looked so terrified that I immediately felt terrible. And then the theater began applauding. Everyone in the theater started applauding. And then I felt better, and these kids got up, and they were so scared that they all ran out of the theater. But as they run out, the one punk kid in the back, he goes, come at me, bro, to me. Mm-hmm. I ignored him, of course, and then they left. But I guess he was challenging me to a fight, which I feel pretty confident in saying I would have won.
I don't know.
Now, he was a 10-year-old
I mean,
boy.
you were drunk.
I was buzzed. But I walk back, I sit in my seat, and this woman behind me goes, thank you so much. She's like, they shouldn't even be in here. I said, you know what? That's right. They shouldn't even be in here. And then we sit down, and the rest of us for 45 minutes sat in complete silence and watched the bitter end of Bad Santa 2, which is terrible. Then the movie ends. I walk out, and waiting for me in the Americana, which is, if you're in L.A., it's like the Armenian Grove, but it's a big outdoor mall, very upscale. And I walk out, and the kid has waited for me outside of the theater for 45 minutes, the punk kid. And I'm like, what's going to happen here? And he goes, hey. I said, yes. He goes, you can't talk to little kids that way. You're an adult. You shouldn't talk to little kids that way.
Did he say it A-DOLT? Because that would have been my hats off to
an
the
adult?
kid.
No. You can't talk to little kids that way. You're an adult. And I said, well, you can't be in R-rated movies because you're a kid. I was talking to you like an adult because in the dark I assumed you must be an adult at an R-rated movie. He goes, well, it's not fair. You shouldn't talk to kids like that. I said, okay, but you also shouldn't be screaming through the movie. And then I realized I'm now in public. I'm outdoors at a mall with Christmas music playing, Christmas decorations everywhere, with my hands over my head, catching myself seconds from screaming at a child again in public. And I just...
No round of applause outside, I'll tell you that.
No round of applause. There was moms galore staring at me, terrified. Like, what is going on here? Is this their dad? Is he going to hit this kid?
Is he going to molest them?
He's screaming at a child.
Nobody knows what's about
at
to
an
happen.
outdoor mall at Christmas time. And I stopped myself mid-sentence. I took a deep breath, and I walked away. And then he yelled something after me. I don't know what it was.
Oh, I could take a guess at what it was.
I'm glad I didn't hear it, but I assure you it wasn't nice. But he only had the balls to yell it to my back because his balls haven't descended yet because he's 10.
Well, he's a 10-year-old pet.
And, folks, that's the story. And it's been greatly overhyped, but basically the moral of the story is I screamed at a child in public.
There you have it, folks. Let's do a quick movie recap. I really think we should.
What we've seen?
Yeah.
You watching these Academy screeners we get?
I am watching these Academy screeners, and I think I'm about to become a member of the Directors Guild.
Okay.
After having directed my special, which, by the way, people, February 3rd comes out.
It's not plug time.
On Comedy Central, and then February, I believe,
plug time.
7th is when the album comes out, and you can download the special. On
Can you stop this bouncing update thing from your computer because I know it's that drives me insane and I can't focus.
I don't know how to stop it right now.
Really?
I'm afraid if I click it, it's gonna stop. I can't right
I
now.
have to turn away from it then.
You have to turn away from it.
That Adobe Premiere update thing that pops up, it makes me completely insane.
I don't. What have I seen, Patty?
You see La La Land? There was a request for us to discuss that.
No real interest in watching it.
I love La La Land, and it's so like sincere. It seems like something that I would hate. I loved it so much, and I turned to my girlfriend afterwards. She was like, "Eh," and I couldn't believe that somebody didn't like it. Then it's gotten really good reviews, but so many people hate it, especially like friends of mine in comedy and stuff hate it so much. I feel I should watch it again. Because maybe I was wrong. I don't know, but I loved it. Thought it was great. People don't like musicals. I get that.
I like musicals. I just, for some reason, didn't really have much of an interest in it.
The weak link is the songs, and the singing is certainly
that's
subpar.
A problem with that makes for a bad musical if the singing and the songs are the bad part.
Yeah, but I mean, there's not a tremendous amount of songs, and the choreography and shit was all really great. The opening scene is one for the ages. There's a big traffic jam dance number.
Like in Fame.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to be, like arms folded, like, oh, God, they're singing again, don't say it. It's not for you.
I mean, I
don't mean you. I mean people in general.
Fences. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I did, too. Just phenomenal fucking acting.
Phenomenal acting from Denzel and Viola Davis. Almost played
Denzel is maybe our best actor.
He could
Let's
be.
just be honest about it.
And Viola might be our best actress. And the only reason
She's
I'm
up
putting
there.
the gender thing on it is so we can fairly represent both people.
They were both incredible.
In a giant pool of actors. But, yeah, they're both incredible in it. I truly do think they could be the two best people out there.
I agree. It was a filmed play, much like Glengarry Glen Ross is a filmed play. It doesn't bother me. It bothers some people. It felt a little stagey, sure, but the acting was so great. I had no qualms.
You know what part I loved about Fences?
No.
Denzel's character tells a lot of tall tales. It was almost like a racially motivated big fish.
Yeah, I could see that.
I enjoyed it. Of course, you don't see like witches or anything like that.
Right.
But I did enjoy all the stories he told about meeting the devil and playing him in baseball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a great film. I also saw, you mentioned this before, but I finally saw Sully. And
we talked about the 80s sitcom blow ending.
Yeah, you talked about the 80s sitcom ending when
you
Aaron
still have
Eckhart
to see
goes.
it to believe it.
Yeah, I would have done it in July, and they laugh, and it fades out, and I said to myself, there's no fucking way it ends like that.
Yeah,
That's
even though you
ridiculous.
knew that's how it ended.
And I watched the thing, and sure enough, that is exactly how it. The only way it could have been more of a sitcom is if it freeze framed.
I thought it would freeze frame. Tom Hanks looks back at him and does one of those shaking his head laughs.
Yeah,
which is like the dad on Alf kind of situation.
And it just fades out.
Yeah. Crazy.
Last on my list, Patty, is I got a lot of horror movies for Christmas, and we can get into them more specifically later on another episode. But the one I really want to push is I did get the Scream Factory special edition Blu-ray of The Exorcist 3.
Yes.
It does have the fabled director's cut on it. It is a different movie. It is phenomenal. It is worth seeing, and the original's phenomenal as well. So I can't stress to you enough, as a horror fan, particularly if you're an Exorcist fan, you need to go get that Blu-ray. It's really, really tremendous.
I'm going to get it.
Yes. You got anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a bunch, but we've talked too long. Last night, because it's fresh in my mind, I watched Hidden Figures. That comes out today in theaters, so that's a good one to discuss.
It's supposed to be great. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's about three African American women who are helping with the John Glenn astronauts, NASA in the 60s. It was a very straight down the middle, like Disney Channel. It's rated PG. It's telling a great story that I had never heard of before. But it's these women who were like so amazing at math and yet still had to face adversity because they were black. And it's really great in that way. Like sometimes it's great to watch a PG movie, like because I never do it.
Right.
And I'm always like, lame, stupid, whatever. It did it with minimal schmaltz. It was a great story, very well told. Kevin Costner's great in it, as kind of the guy who's a toughie at first, becomes a softie. And the three actresses in it: Octavia Spencer, who's on Empire, Taraji P. Henson,
right,
is awesome in it, and Janelle Monáe, who I love as a musician, is great in both this movie and Moonlight, and she's also unbelievably attractive.
Okay.
It's a great story, very well told. Here's what it is. I wish I had told you this before Christmas break. It's a perfect parents movie.
Okay.
Where nobody's uncomfortable, everybody feels good. I would check it out. It's a good movie.
I don't know if I had the screener before Christmas break.
Yeah.
I tried to start Nocturnal Animals. I couldn't do it.
It's a bad movie.
You've talked about it. You talked about it a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. It just, the second they did that, the second they put so much focus on Amy Adams getting a paper cut, I was like, this is going to be one of these like dark indie drama. I don't want to do this.
No.
I got a sense of it, and then my manager told me in explicit detail what plays out in the movie, and I'm glad I didn't watch it now.
Yeah, and when you hear about it, it sounds much cooler than it is. It's not well done, I didn't think.
It didn't sound cool. It sounded really depressing.
Yeah.
And really sad, and I'm glad I didn't watch it.
But let's talk.
I also saw De Palma. You saw that? I assume.
Saw it in theaters. I fucking loved it.
Phenomenal.
Because I love all of his fucking movies.
Phenomenal. Just
Yeah.
got Body Double in the mail. Looking forward to seeing that.
Body Double is great.
Real quick, new segment, and then we'll get to Rogue One. Scary stuff. This is a new segment where myself or Pat or both of us will discuss
I don't even know what this is.
an item. I've told you about it. And
You don't run the segments by the co-host?
No. I ran this by you, and you said, and this was your exact response. Love it. Let's do it. That was your exact
All right,
response.
let's hear what it is. It's called Scary Stuff.
Scary stuff. This is horror-related material that is not necessarily a movie.
Okay.
So this is where we can discuss your box sets of TV shows
Sure.
or your video games or your toys or whatever.
Okay.
Today I am choosing to discuss the recently released, I mean, I don't know how recently released it was, but it's, it was late 2016. PS4, Xbox One edition of Resident Evil 4. This is a remastered version of Resident Evil 4 in all your HD glory that you could ever want. Resident Evil 4, Pat, is my favorite video game of all time. Number one slot of all time. This is the greatest video game I've ever played. It is the perfect mixture of action, gore, puzzle solving. There's a level where you get trapped in a cabin and zombies are breaking through the windows and you've got to fight them off. It's just a really, really phenomenal, scary action-adventure game. It's a lot of fun.
This is a re-release of an old game or a new
Well, it
game?
came out originally for the GameCube initially in the early aughts.
Okay.
And then eventually went to the other systems. And now the Resident Evil Capcom has been re-releasing some of the Resident Evil titles as remastered versions for the new systems.
Okay.
So this is Resident Evil 4 for your latest system with updated graphics and HD look and everything. And Game Informer says it's pulse-pounding action. IGN says it's an absolute must-have. GameSpot says it's an amazing achievement. And Games Radar says one of the best games we've ever played. I totally agree. It's my favorite game of all time. If you love horror, even if you're tired of zombies, you got to play this game. It's so good. It's so good.
Fantastic.
And
I don't play video games. I have nothing to add, but I've seen 7 of the movies at this point, and there's another one coming out.
Yeah. Well, so that's scary stuff.
I got it.
So next time you come in, you go, hey, I played Resident Evil iPhone. Or whatever.
Okay.
You know?
I just downloaded Mario Go. Is that scary enough for you?
No.
Okay.
But
I hear it's fun.
I think Mario Go, because our podcast, the umbrella covers fantasy, horror and sci-fi, I accept that.
There's one of our fans who is very critical. He said listening to us talk politics made him want to kill himself. I thought, actually, when listening back, thought it was a very interesting conversation.
I don't think that guy was a fan. I think he just started listening for the first time and then was like, I want to kill myself.
Yeah, but today he's like, please go back to the old format.
Oh,
and he's like, maybe you could talk about horror again, which felt a little critical to me. So,
well, we make it pretty evident at the top of the podcast that we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff, and then we're going to focus on a movie each episode, and we always do that. We don't ever not do it.
And Fangoria encompasses sci-fi, fantasy, everything else.
Yes. So today, look, this is just a movie that we couldn't not discuss.
Yeah.
It's an event film. It's got to be discussed. It falls into the category Star Wars story, Rogue One. Let's get into it. I'll just say right off the bat, I thought it was phenomenal. I loved it. It is in my top. I mean, at this point, you've got a lot of Star Wars movies.
You do.
But I'd put it into my top 4, I would say.
Did you like it more than Force Awakens?
I liked the tone of it more than Force Awakens because it was way darker and way less funny.
Yeah.
And only had humor in moments to have relief, which
there was a lot of robot humor, Joe.
Well, he was the comic relief, but in the way that C-3PO used to be, they used him very well. So, but
now, if it was a Marvel movie, that level of humor would have set you off.
No,
you have a big allegiance to Star Wars.
In fact, had a Marvel movie used humor in the same way, I would say that's how you use humor.
Well,
Marvel
I
movie.
Guess we'll never know.
By the way, movieweb.com today, a movie site that I often check, released some information about the Doctor Strange Blu-ray, and it said Thor's roommate to return in Doctor Strange Blu-ray, and it's a picture of Thor eating cereal, high-fiving his nerdy. Come on, this is the problem with Marvel.
Look, I don't know Thor's salary, but he shouldn't have a roommate.
So,
I have a buddy who's Adam Levine's roommate. It's like, no, Adam Levine has $20 million.
How does he have a roommate? Well, maybe he just gets lonely.
I guess so.
I thought this had just the right amount of humor to offset the fact that it was a very dark film. There will be spoilers as we talk about this. They're unavoidable.
I think anybody listening to this has probably seen it. It's not like,
But I liked Force Awakens better because it was in the traditional, it's in the big trilogy canon or whatever.
Yeah.
And so is this, but this was about different characters and what have you.
Force Awakens, I mean, the applause and the excitement just did not hold a candle to this. Nobody applauded when the title card went up this time, or Lucasfilm went up.
Nobody applauded when I saw this either.
Kind of strange, because the Force Awakens, people were going fucking insane, and all the prequels, people were going insane.
Well, I think that's what I'm saying is, like, I think all of us have a potentially more special place in our hearts for Force Awakens because it's our childhoods up on the screen. Right. Whereas this had some elements of that, but it was truly just it was almost like the best case scenario if like Netflix made a Star Wars movie or like a TV show or something.
Yeah, it felt to me pretty disconnected from Star Wars aside from Darth Vader. Somebody asked online, which we should check those questions.
We'll do them at the end.
But somebody asked if we felt it had the right amount of Darth Vader. I thought Darth Vader was being used a little too sparingly until that fucking awesome scene at the end where he comes blasting in. I was like, this is awesome.
So,
but that for me, you have way more love for Star Wars than I do. I prefer even an Indiana Jones. I prefer many things to Star Wars. But for me, this movie was pretty dull and not that involving, and I didn't give much of a shit about anybody in it until the last 45 minutes when I was like, this is fucking awesome. And it was. It was an amazing ending to the movie. Nonstop action. As far as the other stuff, I kind of didn't care.
There's a lot of build up through acts 1 and 2.
Right.
There are a lot of, I'd say if you're a Star Wars fan, there are a lot of Easter eggs in there, and not even Easter eggs, just nods to things that you would appreciate as a Star Wars fan. The most important of which to me, and I did not see this coming from a fucking mile away. I never would have guessed it in a million years. And when I saw it, I mean, I lit up. I started giggling in the theater. But when they fly to this, again, major spoilers, guys. When they fly to this lava planet, and I'm like, why are they doing another lava planet?
Right.
That's like Mustafar in episode 3, and then you see a black castle, and you realize, oh, it is Mustafar, and fucking Darth Vader has a castle on the planet where he was turned into Darth Vader, where he lost his limbs. And then they go into the castle, and it's like this fucking Sith temple, and there's a Bacta tank where he's just, his torso, all that remains of him is submerged in water, and then it gets pulled up and placed into the suit. I was going out of my fucking mind with that. I didn't see that coming from a mile away. So I love that. And then again, as you already mentioned, and a friend of mine, Danielle, texted me today about this, that last scene. Because when you get to the end of the movie and you're like, this was a lot of fun, and this was very well done.
Everyone's dead.
But
it
where
was a
the
lot of
hell
fun.
is Darth? What the fuck? You're not giving me any like Vader action? Because the scene with Vader before that is talking, and it's cool, but it's just talking.
And it's also no different than when he like choked somebody out back in the other ones.
But then the final Vader scene and the finale of the movie is Vader not only taking out an army of fucking Republic rebellion soldiers in like every Force way you can think of. It's as he's entering the ship at the beginning of Star Wars. It's literally leading.
Yeah, I might not have caught that, but yes, that makes sense to me.
It's butting right up against the beginning of Star Wars. You're like, this is what he does before he enters the beginning of the first Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
he
that's
kills
cool. I missed that, but that's
people.
cool. Yeah.
I love the surprise of the CG'd Grand Moff Tarkin and young Leia. I thought it looked impeccable.
I've seen so much criticism of that, and I asked Heather, who just watched all those movies a year ago, and she didn't even notice.
I thought it looked amazing.
Carrie Fisher, you could tell, but it's whatever. Carrie Fisher, R.I.P. of course.
Yes.
And I read today that she had finished her work on Force Awakens 2. I don't know what to call that, but Force Awakens 2. But apparently she had a massive role in Force Awakens 3. It was like mostly about her, and now they've had to scrap that entire script.
Yeah, they're talking. These might be rumors, but they said they might have to cut her out of Episode 8 now too because it won't make any sense or something.
What they're setting up won't be able to be paid off.
I hope that's not the case. I'd like to see one more Princess Leia run before it's over. But I also
I love Carrie. If you can check out her writing, you should do it. I watched Postcards from the Edge the other night. She was a great lady.
Wishful Drinking is. Did you ever see that?
Oh yeah, I watched.
It's hilarious.
That. Yeah, she's great.
It's hilarious. Well, look, I saw Rogue One with Kurt Braunohler, our friend and comedian. Mm-hmm. And when Grand Moff Tarkin showed up, he turned to me and he goes, "Is that the same actor?" And I was like, "No, that's some kind of magical rendition of Peter Cushing, who's been dead for at least 25 years."
Yeah, I've seen that done a couple times. I mean, the X-Men, when they digitally de-age Patrick Stewart and them, I thought was done very well and almost seamlessly.
I thought they did it well in Terminator Genesis.
They did it well in Terminator Genesis, and they did it pretty well in Sopranos, which was a crazy usage because I don't want to I'm going to stop because that show's too good to ruin.
Well, here's the thing. They didn't just de-age a man in this movie. They brought a man back from the dead.
Yeah. And I guess they had an impersonator do the voice. Is that what they did?
I guess so.
Yeah.
But dude, they're really pulling out all the stops because I'm a fan of the TV show Star Wars Rebels, which is on Disney XD, and if you're a fan, I'm sure you watch it as well. And so this season they just teased that they're finally bringing old Obi-Wan into the mix. And so in the mid-season trailer, they show old Obi-Wan, and when he talks, I was like, that fucking sounds exactly like Alec Guinness. Like, I don't know how they're pulling this shit off at this point.
Yeah, I've worked on a few animated things, and that there are just people who it's like, who do you need? And they can do it. I was a page at SNL back in the day, and Daryl Hammond, they would bring him 10 VHS tapes, if I can age myself, of different people that he was going to do on the show that week. Some of them he hadn't heard of. And he would go back, watch the tape, and come out, and you could not tell the difference. It's amazing.
Really?
It's a gift.
Now let's go to some of these comments about the film, because I know he said let's wait till the end, but I feel like they might correspond to your criticism that the movie was a bit slow at the beginning, which I don't disagree with. I just think it was necessary, and I think it was the slow portions were more enjoyable for hardcore Star Wars fans. Gibbon Wizard writes, can check this person out at the Wizard Gibbon. Was it me, or is it one of the dullest blockbusters of all time? Couldn't care less about anyone. I don't agree with that. A lot of people have said this criticism of like, well, you don't care about the characters because you can't remember their names or whatever. So here's what I have to say to that. I did care about the characters. I did care about the characters. I really liked, and I can't remember their goddamn names either. Yeah. But I liked all the characters. I thought they were really cool. I really.
The guy from The Night of, the HBO show about John Turturro's foot disease, which is a show I liked quite a bit.
Jyn Erso, that's the main girl. I thought she was great.
The main girl is from Theory of Everything.
Yeah, and he's the guy. The main guy is the guy from The Night of, right?
Yeah,
and I thought they were great, but people go, I can't even remember their names. It's like, because their fucking names aren't Frank and Mary. They have these fucking goofy names.
I can never remember anybody's names in movies, and I call them all Big Eyes or whatever in my mind. That helps me remember them. But yeah, I wasn't that involved with any of the characters either, which is probably good because, spoiler alert, they all die. But the last 45 minutes as just like an action showpiece is pretty hard to fucking argue with. It was pretty awesome.
I agree with that.
But for me, I would say it ranks above Episode 1, Episode 2, and nothing else. I mean, I wouldn't put it above any other movies in the series.
I agree that I'm not sure if I like 3 more than I love Episode 3. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Slow Jen, potentially our biggest fan, she writes, shit that I missed the window again. Don't hate me, Joe, but I'm not a Star Wars person. Our wedding is off. Jen, it is. What do you mean you're not a Star Wars? Who's talking about? Who's not a Star Wars person? But I'd love to take you on a polarizing La La Land. I like your take on the polarizing La La Land.
We already did it.
That's
but
weird.
Joe hasn't watched it.
And I will die if I didn't get the Bad Santa story. Yeah, with Jen, we
check.
Got you on both of those. Brian Jepson at BT Jepson. Oh, by the way, Slow Jen at Roberta_Glass. At BT Jepson writes, I didn't emotionally connect with most of the new characters. Didn't care about Jyn or Cassian. Y'all, ? I like them both very much. I thought they were very cool characters. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more Jyn fiction coming out. I'm sure they'll have books out about how she landed in the Imperial holding cell and all that stuff. I thought they were very, very, very cool. Here we go. At the Josh _ Brown writes, how would you feel about Leia getting the Tarkin treatment in Episode 9? I think that's what they should do.
They shouldn't do it if she's the lead character, and that's what I'm getting is that she's like the biggest part of it, and that's too much to be digitally doing, especially for somebody who isn't here anymore. It's kind of sick in a way to me. I wonder, do they have to get the approval of Peter Cushing's family for Rogue One or something, because it's weird. But if Harrison Ford died, they're not doing an Indiana Jones movie. With a digitally altered.
I agree.
Ford.
I agree.
It's too much.
I agree, but I feel like, let's say she is the. I don't. First of all, I don't think she's going to be the lead of Episode 9. I feel like Luke Skywalker is going to be the lead of Episode 9.
Yeah. Well, now, what I read was just that she has a huge role in it.
Okay, so she has a huge role.
Yeah.
My guess is this: couldn't you pull? Obviously, they weren't doing gigantic action sequences with Carrie Fisher. I would guess.
Probably.
And if they were, they're probably using stunt people like they do with Harrison Ford or Mark Hamill, whoever. So, what I'm saying is, her part can still be instrumental. Can you fill it out by having other people give exposition, stand-ins doing some things, and then having the CG? I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Or do they start Episode 9 with she's dead now? Like that might be what they have to do.
It would just, speaking of dead, again, does the dog not look dead to you?
I think it's just resting. I'm seeing an eye twitch. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, he's awake. All right. This comes from Dave Komorik. don't know how to say that. At KOMOREK, Komorek. Do you think it was not enough, Vader, or just right? I thought it was not enough until I saw the last sequence, and then I thought it was just right.
I agree. It was almost like Jaws, where you're like, "Where's this fucking shark?" And then the shark delivery was real on point.
Dustin Tyler at Dustin or Tyson, excuse me, at Dustin Tyson 123 writes, "Can Rogue One be the name of your next hour special?" Absolutely not. No. For
How
God's
about Rogue
sakes.
Fun? Exclamation point.
How about Jogue One?
That's terrible, but yes. I want to ask you, Joe, elephant in the room here. Did you find Forrest Whitaker to be horrifically terrible in this as well as Arrival? Did you see Arrival?
I didn't watch Arrival yet because Arrival to me reeks of Contact, and
we discussed that. Arrival
hate Contact.
Arrival is pretty dull, and I don't quite understand the love for it. I thought it would be better as a Twilight Zone or a Black Mirror, a shorter movie. But
let me just be clear about something. I don't give a rat's ass about a fascinating, open-minded alien visitation.
No.
If they're not coming and killing us and it's not blood war, I don't care.
Well, I love Close Encounters, and I remember kind of liking Contact, but Arrival left me real cold. The director I love, and the director's doing the Blade Runner reboot. It's the guy who did Prisoners, which you and I are going to watch for this show this month, because it's one of my favorite horror movies of the past 10
We will watch
years.
Prisoners, and we will watch the Blade Runner sequel.
We'll go see it for sure.
And God damn it, I hate to admit it, and we should talk about this. I watched the trailer for Blade Runner 2015, whatever the fuck it's called, and it gave me chills. I got excited.
It looks
because
awesome.
It looks iconic, and it's awesome when Harrison Ford comes out of the shadows and goes, "I used to do your job. I was good at it."
Yeah.
Like, I just got chills now. But God damn it, I'm going to hate the movie.
Yeah, the guy, Denis Villeneuve or whatever, going off Prisoners and to a lesser extent Sicario, which I liked a lot. I think he's a really fucking great director. And I'm excited to see the new Blade Runner, even though I despise the other one, as we discussed on this very show in a classic episode.
It disgusts me.
Yeah, it's disgusting. But Forrest Whitaker in Arrival is... He's doing an accent I can't understand, and he's hamming it up so bad. Forrest Whitaker used to be a genius actor.
All right.
Like even like The Shield, the TV show.
He is.
He's so fucking great on The Shield.
Right.
And Arrival was the first time I was like, what am I looking at here? He's doing a Battlefield Earth style performance.
Right.
In this and Rogue One.
Right.
Rogue One, I was like, get this motherfucker off the screen, and apparently he plays a bigger role in upcoming movies. I hate.
No. Forrest Whitaker does not play a bigger role in upcoming
That's what I
movies.
read.
No. He plays a big role in the Rebels TV show.
Forrest Whitaker is it animated?
Yes. And
he's
voicing the
it.
character.
Oh, all right.
That's what the upcoming movies he would be. He's like 70 in the goddamn Rogue One movie.
I didn't get the character at all, and I wanted him off the screen.
See, I'm glad you brought this up actually, because I really liked that character. And this is one of the things I really enjoyed about Rogue One. And again, this might be for hardcore Star Wars fans only. I don't know. But one of the elements I really, really loved about the film was that they got into the sort of intricacies of the rebellion. And I like the fact that there were different factions of the rebellion. And Forrest Whitaker was the part of the rebellion. It was like the subgroup of the rebellion that were almost functioning like terrorists. That the regular rebellion was like, these fucking guys are out of control.
Yeah.
And like they're almost our enemies. I thought that was really cool. I thought that got into some of the sort of socio-political perspectives that you would have in a situation like that. Okay. I found that interesting.
Okay.
No, you don't agree?
No, I don't. I don't know what Forrest Whitaker's been doing for the last year.
I'm saying his character.
It didn't do anything for me. Obviously, I didn't like his character.
All right, well, folks, that's Rogue One. I mean, and overall, I give it a B+.
Yeah, I would feel the same. If without that last third, you're talking about a C+. But I think that the last third is some great action movie shit.
The last third, I mean, it's the greatest space battle I've ever seen in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it was awesome.
A phenomenal. Oh, and then I can't forget to talk about this. Again, just leapt out of my seat when they're going into the big final space battle, and it cuts to the X-wing cockpits, and it's red leader, gold leader, and it's fucking red leader and gold leader from the original movie, and it was stock footage they found from the original movie and touched it up. God damn it, that was just so good.
But now, where was like Porkins?
There's
The most offensive name for a fat character in movie history.
There is an argument that Porkins is in there somewhere.
I didn't see Porkins. I was only looking for Porkins.
But I believe Porkins doesn't come into Return of the Jedi.
Porkins is in Star Wars, guaranteed.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Look,
he's a big fat guy in a ship.
They had stock footage of Red Leader and Gold Leader, and they threw it in there from the original movie, and I thought that was fucking awesome.
Yeah, all right.
Final segment of the show, Patty, before plugs. Rotten Tomatoes review. I always like doing this, as you know. And we already talked about nocturnal animals. This review comes to us from Mara Reinstein, from Us Weekly.
Okay.
Somewhere in a forest, a maple tree wants all its sap back.
Damn. From Nocturnal Animals?
Yeah.
I think that's a very funny quote, but there's not one funny thing about, or there's not one sappy thing.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. God damn it. Sorry, not Nocturnal Animals. Fuck. I was on Collateral Beauty.
Oh, Collateral Beauty.
Which I kept confusing with Nocturnal Animals.
Yeah.
But we were talking Nocturnal Animals. This is Collateral Beauty. Somewhere in a forest, a maple tree wants all its sap back. I have
good.
not seen people shit on a movie like I've seen people shit on.
People really hate that Collateral Beauty, and I can't wait to see the thing because it looks so terrible.
I didn't get a goddamn screener for it.
No, they knew. They knew it wasn't in the running when they started seeing the reviews come out.
When I started reading the reviews, I said, let me go back and rewatch the trailer because I know I watched the trailer and I don't remember what it was. And then I was like, oh, it's this movie where Will Smith is in a diner and Helen Mirren shows up and she's like, I am Hope.
Yeah, it's
the emotion, Hope.
A grieving father, his daughter dies, and he writes letters to death, love, and hope.
Oh, God.
And they respond. So Helen Mirren's like, did somebody say you were looking for health or for hope?
Well, she's death, right?
She's death, yeah.
Keira Knightley's love.
Truly embarrassing.
It's a real
truly
shit show.
Embarrassing.
Anything to plug, Patty?
No. I'm doing my thing. Well, so if you want to see me do my thing, check out my webcam.
The Patrick Walsh on Twitter and Instagram.
Oh, yeah. At the Patrick Walsh, Twitter, Instagram, you know that shit.
At Joe DeRosa Comedy on Twitter and Instagram. Big comedy special. That's the big plug right now. You Let Me Down, February 3rd. Comedy Central. Hour special. I directed it and wrote it, and I perform it, obviously. And then it hits the streets sometime later that week for download and whatnot. Thanks for listening, everybody.
I just wanted to add thank you all so much for your feedback on the last 4. It was so much fun being on like Christmas break, and every time I logged into Twitter, seeing all these great comments and things that you remembered from the episodes. We love reading all that shit.
Absolutely.
Keep them coming.
Thank you.
Keep the 5-star reviews coming. We really appreciate it. And we are looking into getting sponsorship, as always. Please reach out to us, or we will reach out to you, and you might not even know when that's coming. Be vigilant. Be ready. That's it. Thanks, everybody. Happy New Year. You've been listening to We'll See You in Hell, a presentation of the Fangoria Podcast Network, produced by Thomas DeFeo and executive produced by the great Ken Hanley of Fangoria Entertainment. For press opportunities, advertising inquiries, and information about We'll See You in Hell, contact Ken at fangoria.com. You can also tweet me at the Patrick Walsh and Joe at Joe DeRosa Comedy. Thanks, everybody.